Hi guys, today we're going to be showing you some techniques to increase the power and speed of your kicks. So there's a few elements that are required to make your kicks fast. So first of all, you need to know how to kick, you need some mobility, you need flexibility, and you need some strength. Well, there's a few other little things that I'm going to show you that's going to help. So we're going to start off with just some mobility. So we want to have maximum mobility in our hips. So we want to be able to squat. Now often people squat and they're not squatting heels flat. So try and get those heels flat, lean forward if you need to, and then really pry open those hips so you can sit back and really open them up. We also want to do some mobility lying on the ground here, feet slightly out wider than shoulders, and just rolling. And in all these mobility drills, you want to keep moving. Good. Then we want to, instead of just going into a static stretch, we want to lunge, step back. And we're actively tensing and flexing the back of the leg to push down, keeping the body straight. Now you might be thinking, why am I stretching the hip flexors? Well, the hip flexors are actually your brakes. So often when we kick, you'll see that we're in this stance here, and we want to pull that leg back to get a lot of power out of the kick. Well, if you've got a tight hip flexor, it's actually going to resist that movement coming back to throw the kick. So our next one is we want to do some dynamic flexibility. So often you may see before people doing their kicks, they're doing static stretching, staying in these spots for a long time. We don't actually want to do that until the end. So we want to actually teach our body to be flexible while moving. So the first thing we want to do is some dynamic stretches. And that's teaching your muscles to stretch while they're moving. So we start off just standing up straight and lifting the leg. We don't want to just throw the leg up. We want to have the leg straight, feeling that tension. We want to do that on the other side. And we want to do about 8 a leg, and you can do up to 3 sets. So that's the front leg raise. We also have the side leg raise. Same thing, about 8 each side. I'm only going to do a few. And then we have some dynamic flexibility for the hip flexors. So the easiest way to do this is to get a chair or a bench and thinking about kicking yourself in the back of the head with your heel. Same thing, about 8. So that's our dynamic flexibility for the legs. Often people build up the dynamic flexibility of their kicks just through kicking, just through practicing, going higher, etc. So our next thing we want to do is, once we have the mobility and the flexibility, we want to make sure that our leg is relaxed. So the way that I'll show you this is, imagine that you want to throw a hard punch. And if you squeeze your fist really, really tight, and then try and throw a punch, and you feel that it's very tight and locked up. Where if we imagine that we've got a fly in our hand, and you're just going to close it, but you're not going to kill that fly. And then start to throw your punches, and you should feel that your arms are light. And on the moment of impact is where you squash that fly. So the same thing with the leg. If I'm here and I actually think that I want to kick hard, I'm actually putting so much tension into my leg that I'm slowing the kick down. So that's where these dynamic relaxation drills come in. You get yourself a bench, a stool, and you're just going to swing the leg. Breathing. The breath is connected to relaxation. So as you breathe out, letting the leg hang out here. And then once it becomes quite relaxed and heavy, you want to imagine that there's water on the leg. Giving that leg a flick, heavy, and change to the other side. Shake that leg. And this drill could also be done with the arms as well, just by shaking like this. Now once we've done that and we're relaxed, when we actually throw the kick, we want to think that we're not actually going to kick with maximum power. Because if you kick with maximum power, you'll tend to get a pre-tense, a real big and then kick. Where if you imagine that you're only going to kick at 50, we'll say 60 to 70%. And from there, it's more just, and just let it flick. So imagine if I had a bamboo rod, it only requires a little whip to make a lot of impact. Now it's the same with the leg. Although tensing and pushing off the floor increases power, it also gives the opponent that visual acuity of seeing that key up, or same as with that punch. So if we can just get it from the point where we're just right here, and we just kick with no key up. So when that's the front kick, that's knee up, forward. We don't need to, it's just from this position here, lift and kick. So when you're doing your kicks, think about kicking about 50 to 60%, perfect technique, following through with the hips. Then when you have your impact, the spot where you're going to be impacting, that's where you're going to be thinking you're going through that target. So I hope this has given you a few tips. The most important thing I believe is the dynamic relaxation drills. Flicking the legs, having dynamic flexibility, and obviously practice. So put your feedback in the comments and let me know, do your kicks get harder, do your kicks get faster? Talk to you soon.